because Sneako has been sucker punched. I was originally going to go live and react to something else. Well, actually, I wasn't going to go live. I was going to make a reaction video to something else, and my camera's not working on my phone. But anyways, I go to you know watch some videos, and I see Sneako was sucker punched. So yeah, I've already seen it. Pretty crazy, but I figured I could react to some other people's reactions, or just the video again, talk about it a little bit. Anyways, this
Guys,
is
what was Sneako?
XQC's
Can
reaction
we
to it.
watch that? It seems kind of crazy. Guys, what was Sneako? Can we even watch that? It seems kind of crazy. Hold on. Yeah, you deserve to be publicly executed, yes. What are we talking about?
He was talking about some crazy shit, I know that. Or he was talking kind of crazy. Oh, that guy comes out of nowhere, and they blurred it.
Yo. What the? What the fuck is that? Then put your life force into a sock? The fuck is that? It's not funny at all. I don't think it's funny at all. It's not funny at all. It's just, it's fucking.
No, it's not. It's definitely not funny.
That's fucking dog shit. That's not, bro. That's straight awful.
You're not the victim here.
A lot of people were mad at the cameraman because he didn't continue recording. They were mad that he jumped in. Let's see. This might have been the one I've seen. This might have been the one I've seen.
Where is she going? Dude, oh, sorry. Stop. Interview people.
So right before this,
Well, we won't go to get to Soho. Creep. Dude, she's literally wearing a bra walking down the street with her. It's bouncing. She's like she was. Okay. Shut up. I thought you said Gooner should be. Yeah, they should. If you're a Gooner, stop being a Gooner. Like interact with women or try to
what
get
up?
ass, you loser. You need to be hung. You need to be publicly executed. You need to have a guillotine on you. Yeah, they should be. What are you doing? Like you're not horny. You're too afraid to speak to women. The thing that you crave the most, you're afraid of. You're a waste of space. Like God created you, and you've done nothing with your life. Sit behind a laptop and put your life force into a sock. Yeah, you deserve to be publicly executed. Yes. What are we talking about?
Damn. I'm not saying he deserved that, but listen to what the hell he was talking about. This is what I don't get. Like, he thinks he could talk about the shit he talks about and not walk around with security. I think he's definitely like too well known to walk around with no security. But the guy down here, he looks like a white guy. Can't really see it, but the guy looks like a white guy. So I don't think they're gonna try to pull this was an immigrant attacking him. Although they might, because it is NYC, and they might try to pull some shit like that because of everybody knows. But yeah. Let's see if anybody else reacted to it. He has to walk around with security. Simple as that. And he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't paying attention to his surroundings. You know, disconnect.
A man has just attacked Sneako, a very popular streamer.
Damn. See,
It
he's just
remains unclear who it is and why they did it.
so yeah. He's just like head down in the phone, not paying attention. When you're that big of a streamer, you can't just walk through New York with no security. I won't be surprised if they make some type of political statement about this. You know, over this. This is like the equivalent of what's that? Not Ronaldo, Geraldo getting punched back in the '80s or whatever. I was kind of young, showing my age, but Sneako is kind of like today's journalism. You know, journalist kind of. You know, as far as the whole that shit goes. How's it going? So I wouldn't be surprised if they make some type of statement about this. You know, like I don't know. Nobody should be pumped like that, but I guarantee you he won't walk down the street again without security after this. He's lucky it wasn't a knife. If that had been a knife, he'd be gone. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to spin this. And, you know, I think Sneako, I mean, I don't know. I watched some of his stuff. I think he's an alright person. It's, I don't know. I think he definitely kind of uses stuff, you know, but I don't know. I think he wants to do good. I can't judge. So, but he's also putting himself in a position to be hated. There's people out there that actually believe, you know, that there's immigrants trying to come into this country and take over. And I've heard of stuff like Data saying that by like a certain date, America is going to be mostly Latino by like 2050 because of all the different Latinos that come in. That doesn't bother me one bit. You know, America is for the people. You know, like it's always been a nation of immigrants. Like America isn't just for white people. I mean, if you come in America and you like hate our values and what we stand for, then yeah, you probably shouldn't be here. But I like I said, thank God the guy seems to be white, so they don't try to spin it and say, oh, you're for Mandani and he's for immigrants and you're for immigrants and this is what happens when you let immigrants in. I don't think they'll be able to spin it, but they're without a doubt they're gonna make this into a big thing. It's gonna be like the Club Accost thing all over again. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't turn into international news, and maybe not. I struggle between whether this shit fucking really matters, because if I walk outside and I ask a bunch of people, like normal everyday people that I see, they probably won't even know who the fuck Sneako is. But the guy plays a song in a club, and it's an international incident. And I don't know. I'm curious what people think about it. I don't think anybody should be attacked like this, but I definitely think it's either a setup or somebody that, believes he's harming us by, letting his softness on, immigration and that side. And it's probably some kind of Trump supporter or something. I don't know. It'd be super cool if you could just live amongst each other peacefully and mind their own shit. Yeah, I don't even like making like videos about people like this in general. I just, like I said, I think this is the equivalent. This is this generation's equivalent of when Ronaldo got hit. Not for the same stuff, but kind of. I don't know the whole Ronaldo story, or not Ronaldo, Geraldo. Sorry, Ronaldo. Geraldo at large, he had a TV show. He was a reporter. Um, you know, he was talking about shit that maybe you should or maybe you shouldn't be talking about. Who really is the judge? You know, I think Sneako's doing what he thinks is best, and that you know, I meant to say people, not you, but same. Yeah, I know, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think he's, you know, maybe I haven't watched enough of his content, but I think I have to think, you know, to assume that he's just a person that doing, he's just doing what he thinks is right. But there's going to be people that, you know, see you as the enemy, see you as the other side or whatever. And it's a shame that we even have sides. I think a lot of people were bamboozled into thinking that the left was crazy and the right was the sane way to go for the 2024 election. And a lot of people are saying they got bamboozled, they got brainwashed. A lot of people are trying to back out of it now. This was one of them. He was one of them. Sneako was one of them that supported Trump at a moment, and it, you know, changed his tune along with Theo Vaughn. You know, a couple comedians. You know, all the podcast circuit. They pretty much backtracked. Besides Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan's like pretty much like the last one still hanging on. Um, Andrew Tate's pretty much fucking irrelevant at this point, and hanging on the threads. And Sneako is actually disrupting shit, and people are actually listening to him, I think. So this is either to send a fucking message or just some guy, you know, that's thinking he's the enemy, you know, not not just letting the guy live his life. I don't know. I'm curious what comes of the story, what people think, but at the end of the day, if you're Sneako, you can't be walking with no bodyguard down any street, really, at this moment, and eyes glued to your phone. He got caught lacking. At the end of the day, he got caught lacking, and he's lucky it's not a knife. He's lucky it wasn't a knife. But I think this shows that he's actually, you know, rippling, you know, changing shit, like making an impact, whether it's for good or bad. I don't really know. I don't know who's to say. If you would have asked me back in 2024, you know, if I thought Donald Trump and that side was the saner side, I would have said for sure. You know, the Democrats seem like depraved, wild, you know, sex animals or whatever, you know. And now Trump and his buddies are called the Epstein class. Who would have thought that in 2024? You know, everybody thought it was the Democrats. And now it seems like people are going back towards the Democrats and running away from the Republicans and acting like they never had a part in getting Trump elected and all this shit. But I think a lot of people are playing Monday morning quarterback or whatever that shit's called. Yeah, I can give you one back. Thanks for the sub, man. But that's what I think. I think a lot of people are talking shit now, but they wouldn't have talked shit like this in 2024. It seemed like the saner option. But if you ask me now, you know, I didn't vote for Trump. But I would be lying if I said I didn't have a little bit of hope that things would change. It doesn't seem that way. I mean, it seems like he's just like the rest. And, you know, I think it was all, I said from the beginning that, you know, Biden was a scapegoat and it was all like a one big plan. But I had hope, you know. Now, people like Duncan Trussell get to fucking come on Joe Rogan and laugh about being brainwashed and saying, "Oh, I'm highly acceptable to cults." You know, I've been in plenty of cults. I'm highly acceptable to brainwashing or something like that. It's like, oh, you guys get to laugh it off now, you know, and I don't think that's right. They could, but at least Duncan admitted it, and it's almost like he was trying to get Joe Rogan to admit it. Like, hey, You got bamboozled. Just admit it. And he didn't. Theo, I think Theo had a change of heart from the very beginning. He was the only one that actually tried to press Donald Trump and ask him some real questions about whether he would actually make change, I thought. But I think he realized, well, you could only ask so much and, whatever. And I think he quickly saw the writing on the wall and turned back from it. And there's a lot of people that probably think he's just, it's all a plan. Like he's just part of them too. Maybe it is all a grift. I don't know. That's the thing. That's the thing. I think a lot of people are left like that. And sometimes I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't know. You know? Should I comment on one of your shorts? You can comment if you want. But, yeah. I don't know. At some point, it does matter to me because, although I have trust issues, so I didn't vote for Trump. I never really vote. I listened to Theo Vaughn. A lot of his old school shit helped me. I've mentioned this. It helped me get through some rough times at work. But if you ask any Theo Vaughn fan, he's not the same as he was in the beginning, and neither is Joe. And sometimes I wonder if this was all orchestrated and planned from the beginning, or if, just like everything else, it got corrupted over time, and he thought he was doing the right thing. And sometimes, I think a lot of times people, once they get into something and they get captured by it and they start living their life, I think it's hard to just fucking admit you got and turn around and I don't know. But anybody could sit there after the fact and say, oh, you platform this dude, so you're responsible. It's like, to some extent, yeah, but if they admit that what they did was wrong and that they got, at least they have some type of, backbone, and other than, sitting there pretending like it never happened. But yeah, they got. A lot of people got. And that's just the way it was. And now a lot of people are going to have trust issues, but a lot of people are just going to go right back to another side, right back to the same shit. It's like, when it comes down to it, I don't think either, unless people start actually paying attention to local politics and who's doing what, instead of the big names, I don't think it matters much. But I'm not in politics. I don't. But as far as these like big matches, I think with that, I think we're done. I think people are actually waking up. But what the fuck does that even mean now in 2026? If you would have asked somebody in 2024 that was voting for Trump or whatever, they would have thought that they were waking up and against wokeness and all that shit and standing up for what's right. And it's like, sometimes I wonder if they used a lot of the conspiracy to get to this point, and if it's all been some type of massive plan. I don't freaking know. At the end of the day, I don't know. And I never cared about politics, and I do think it's up to people to pay attention to it, and they do get people to not care and to get overwhelmed and to not pay attention to it because of shit like this. People think there's no fucking hope, but if people actually give up and nobody pays attention, then they win completely. So that can't be the answer either. I don't know the fucking answer, but that's why I think somebody like Sneako is trying his best with the information he got. And yeah, he fucking changed tune a little bit, but so did Theo Vaughn. Why does Theo Vaughn get a pass, but Sneako doesn't get a pass? Because he's Muslim? Because, what's the difference? And Joe Rogan, he hasn't walked back, or he hasn't, he still supports Trump and whatever, as far as apparently. But and he doesn't really talk, by the way he doesn't talk about it. He shuts Theo down and everything. So I don't know. Sometimes I think they're in on it together and they're just fucking with people all together anyway. So I don't know. I'm just curious what people think about all this shit. It's a crazy world we live in. I know that. Revenge.
Put your life force into a sock? Yeah, you deserve to be publicly executed. Yes.
Wow.
What are we talking about?
Phone zone, not paying attention.
You.
Bow. Okay. Solutionaries, that is Sneako walking down the street. Wasn't sneaking down the street at all. Other people saw him, paid attention to him while he was not paying attention, talking about if you ejaculate into a sock, you should be publicly executed. And then somebody publicly knocked him the fuck out. First of all, Sneako is already a very polarizing public figure. And him walking around arrogantly, not paying attention in the phone zone, in condition white, with security or whoever his...
Which is crazy because a lot of the clips that I've seen of Sneako, he wasn't acting like that. He wasn't acting arrogant like that. I think somebody even messaged, stop being arrogant. Somebody even commented, and he read it out loud. He said, stop being arrogant. So it just goes to show you when you start to get too popular and you start to feel yourself and you start to like the money, you start to like the shit, that's where you get corrupt. That's when you get corrupt. That's what happened to Joe Rogan. He got the money, he got the club, he got the... That's why he says all the time, just come to the green room. It's paradise. I got Ron White in there like a fucking statue in the corner. I got fucking, Tony Hinchcliffe with a, whatever. I won't go there, but Red Band's over there eating some steak or something. Pretending like he's not in the Matrix or whatever, and they're just in their little dream world. So I don't know. They don't want it to go away, and that's why people were talking about how he was admitting, and a lot of people were comparing the Duncan Trussell episode with the Theo Von episode, and it was kind of different because Theo Von was talking about Gaza and Duncan was talking about Iraq. So Joe was kind of agreeing with him and walking back everything that he kind of whatever, making up for the Theo episode, but it was two different freaking things.
Camera team just not...
But yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I think, oh yeah, that's what I was. We were talking about how, he's saying that Trump's doing crazy shit, but then the next day, he's shaking his hand and smiling at UFC. It's because what the fuck is he gonna do? Damn, fucking Spanish people. Probably gonna get copyrighted for that, but whatever. But what is he gonna do? Trump probably fucking told in his, leaned in his ear and said, you better fucking smile like a good boy, or something like that. Who knows, Sneako actually choked him out, I heard from a witness. I'm sure he did something. I mean, if you got punched in the face, you're just gonna take it. I know they run off. They kind of run off. But and I wonder if they'll get the name, if the guy, the identity of the guy will come out, if what will come of this. But I wouldn't be surprised if the fucking information never comes out. Like I said, it was either a hired hit to hit him, send him a message, or it was somebody that heard his narrative, his shit about and disagreed, some Trump supporter or somebody who's against immigrants coming into this country. Because there's people that believe that they're here to take us out, and I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if they're trying to infiltrate us from inside. I know America was built on immigrants, and I don't want to be afraid of that. But I don't want to be like Sneako, walking around completely unaware of my surroundings and talking some arrogant, big-headed bullshit. Because I don't know. I just feel like when you get fame and you start to feel yourself, you get fucking arrogant, you get big headed, you let your guard down, and then you get knocked out.
Not paying attention, you already wrong 2, 3.
Thank God it wasn't a knife. If it was a knife, we'd be, this would be a whole different video. That'd be crazy. And I do worry about streamers walking around. And, the world is fucking crazy, dude.
Times already.
I don't even want to put that out there.
Victim. And as we see in the video, the person that attacked him literally was watching him as Sneako had his head in the phone zone, not paying attention at all. Again.
But why did he just randomly hit him? He had to know who he was. I don't think. I mean, this guy filming him probably has a big ass camera, so it's not like he's doesn't know he's being filmed too. So.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, condition white, condition red, condition black, take the imminent threat class. You can get access to that by just typing in the word threat if it's on this.
I don't think this is some random ass encounter. Like, the guy didn't just attack him to steal his money or something like that.
Instagram, everywhere else, hit the link below. There's 1,000 things wrong in this situation outside of the fact that you're just literally a person walking around all day saying inflammatory shit, which is free speech, but some people don't have the same ethos that we have. Words are just words. Some people believe that words should produce violence, as we just saw right there, and you should know that as a super polarizing figure, and you are.
Fucking words do produce violence. Trump said on Easter, right, that a whole civilization was gonna fucking die. I'm just saying. That would have produced a whole lot of fucking violence. Let's be real. Nobody knocking Sneako out. Did you see him sparring Strickland? Didn't he even get knocked out by UFC fighter full force? No, he was sucker punched. He wasn't knocked out. But I'm saying he wasn't paying attention. He could have been knocked out or worse. Like, yeah, I'm sure he choked him out. He definitely stood it. I'm not calling Sneako, like, I'm not making fun of Sneako. I ain't calling him a bitch or anything like that. I'm saying it shouldn't have happened, and it was either a message or somebody, who doesn't like what he talks about, his message, what he stands for, somebody on the opposite side. And, he's lucky it wasn't worse. He's lucky it wasn't worse. Simple as that. At the end, it could have been worse. He needs to get security. It's a shame in this world that you gotta live like that. But you don't see I Show Speed walking around without security. So I seen one video that said revenge. I'm not watching 18 minutes, but
Put your life force into it.
And he replied. So let's see what he said.
Everything's under control. Don't worry. I gotta handle some stuff in a second.
Supposedly he has a
okay.
chipped tooth.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
That's
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I can't hide it. I was gonna try to hide it, but yeah.
Yeah, he was gonna try to hide it because he clipped it out of his stream already. I saw it probably like 2 hours after the stream, and he had already clipped it out. You can't hide something like that. Like, everybody's always recording. Somebody's recording this right now. But yeah, you just can't hide something like that. And I don't think it was staged. Let me know in the comments whether after this or during this if you think he staged this. I don't see the point of that. If this is only going to hurt him, they could use this narrative to say this is why New York isn't safe and blah blah blah. To say Madani or whatever his name is doing a bad job. So
Feeling that got hit, but we're fine. Everything's handled.
Okay, but I mean,
Everything's handled.
still bad feeling.
Didn't get knocked out. Maybe you'll see some stuff going forward, but yeah, not ideal. Not ideal.
I have low XP.
The tooth again, bro. It's always the fucking tooth. I started the stream when the intro was playing. I'm like, I should probably try to hide it. I was gonna like talk like this the whole time. I can't fucking do it, bro.
Oh, he's gonna
And
try to hide the
going
teeth. The
Going
teeth
to Malaysia real soon. Look, there's
can't be scripted now.
That's really just trashy though. Like, that's not cool at all.
No, it is. Let me see what this guy has to say about
While
it.
streaming today throughout New York City, Sneako was randomly
See what I'm saying? If you're like some random person on the street, I ask you who's Sneako, probably don't know. But in the internet world, in the world of social media, he's pretty well known. So you gotta have security. I mean, all these people making right away reacting to it shows.
attacked by somebody on the street, punched, and then taken down. It was a really nice day in New York today. Sneako was out walking around, and then boom. This guy took him to the ground, dropped his bag. Sneako was okay, but yeah, I don't know if this was a targeted attack or not. Sneako is without a doubt one of the most hated, controversial individuals on the internet.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know he was really that hated. I know he did some shit with like Kanye and that got people pissed off and the whole song shit or whatever, but and Andrew Tate, all that shit didn't help. I think a lot of that shit, he used that shit to make his career go farther, but I think it hurt him. I think it hurt him in the long run, and I think he would have been better off if he would have went the route on his own, kind of. But could he have gone the route on his own? That's the question. I don't know. But yeah, you make yourself into this target now, and you got to watch your back. That's why at the end of the day, it's like I wouldn't even want. Who wants to deal with this? Only a psychopath would want to deal with that kind of. I don't know. Because I think he's trying to do what he thinks is right, but I can't say there's no part of him that likes the clout, likes the fame from it, likes the attention. We're all human, and we could all get too big-headed. To some extent, we need an ego to keep us alive, to provide, and to some extent, but you just can't allow yourself to get too big-headed, too full of it. But then again, wilder things have happened, so we'll honestly never know if it was staged. Just something else people have to argue about, right? Cause more division. Yeah, I wonder that too. More division. If they just want more division. I don't think it's right. And Joe Rogan gets to sit there and laugh about getting without fully even admitting it that they got duped by platforming Trump and helping him win the election. But they get to laugh about it. It's like that's still affecting people's life. Like people were fully brainwashed. People were fully, I don't know. People really, like Duncan said, really thought there was going to be no wars. Really thought it was, I made a fucking video talking about how if things were better in a year, or I would talk about, I would make a video react to see what, if anything happened that was good in a year of him being elected, because it was when he was on stage with RFK, and they were talking about getting rid of the food dyes and the fucking all the bad shit, and that shit's still in the food. Last I noticed, I went and got something and it had yellow 5 in it. I don't know why the fuck, but I thought they were supposed to get rid of all that stuff and change it to vegetable dyes. Some companies went ahead and started changing it anyways, but I don't know what's going on with that. Last I checked, last week, there was still yellow 5 in something I got. So, and when you go to the store, there's all types of shit that contains bioengineered food ingredients. So it's I don't know how much of a difference they're making. And I was supposed to ask middle class people if their life has gotten better or worse, because I think that's mainly who gets affected by this type of shit. Poor people get affected by gas prices and inflation because, food gives them less money to, I don't know. less money, less food to eat. They're already struggling to pay bills and everything. Sneako beat up on Subway. That was 3 years ago. Shit, that happened before?
You could suck. I quit. I go in the subway one time. I'm never streaming again. Yo, it's not. You should see the other guy. You could suck. I quit.
Man, it happened before. That time he got way more fucked up. If that's, I mean, that was posted 3 years ago. Wait, he got punched, gets cracked teeth a year ago? So this is like a reoccurring thing for Sneako, I guess. I didn't know that. But, yeah, he really needs to get security. Crazy. You've been beat up once. Anyways, this whole thing reminds me of fucking Mr. Beast, because the teeth, you know. Mr. Beast got veneers, and they call him Mr. Teeth. If you haven't seen it, you gotta check it out. Yeah, this video is pretty funny. There's a whole thing calling Mr. Beast Mr. Teeth. I don't know. I think it's pretty funny. But anyways, yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say about the whole Sneako shit. Like I said, it's not funny that people like Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn and all that gets to walk it back. This Sneako gets hate. I think they're trying to throw him under the bus because he's trying to do what he thinks is right. Maybe I'm too far off from that, but I don't know. Love to know what people think in the comments. Let me know.